Yes. Hi, everyone. Hi. I am so excited. I'm so glad that I'm here today because I thought, you know what, for sure, I'm not just going to be able to come up. Yeah, had a cold like hit me like a brick. But I said, you know what, I am going to do this after some steaming and all. Hi, everyone. I am Olawumi Heavens, event veteran and mediapreneur. And this is inspired by others, a show where we bring people who are doing well in whatever they've chosen to do and they're having fun doing it. And of course, they get to share their stories, they get to tell us, how they got there, what they did right, what they didn't do right, what they could have changed. Mazi, I see you. I see my guest Shalom also. So today is not going to be any different. I have a fantastic guest on it. Anything movies, you guys should know by now that I love movies. And there's some people who are just ace filmmakers. Oh yes, Mazi, I've wondered that. Where did you go? Where did you go? Longest time. I missed you on the show. And when it comes to filmmakers, I've had a song. Now I have Shalom here, Uyi Onabulele. I hope I called your name right, or I didn't use the Yoruba accent or the English accent. I mean, I've seen. Have you watched Confessor? Have you watched? I mean, I'm sure you've watched his film, and you're wondering, okay, who is this person? Because most times we know of the actors, we don't know of us, we just enjoy their work and all. And I have him here today. He's going to be talking to us, and I'm so excited. You should be excited if you're a filmmaker, a budding one. Hello, my brother.
Hello, good evening.
How are you doing? Okay. Good evening. How are you doing? Okay. Oh, Mazi is one of my people. Like, he's an avid person here, and he says the showtime clashes with his work. Oh, sorry. He's on a break now. Can you imagine? So, bro, I've already been, going on about you and what you do, but it'll be good for you to just yes, answer me. Did I call out your name with a Yoruba or an English accent, your surname? Or did I try?
How did you pronounce it? I didn't hear that when you called.
No, I'm not going to repronounce it. No, it will now be now that I'll shoot myself. Flameless Films, I see you, able director. Okay, so my brother, introduce yourself. Let's know what you do. I mentioned filmmaker, cinematographer, but I mean, let's hear from the horse's mouth. What do you do?
Okay.
And then some of your
okay. My name is Shalom Chiki, my real name Shalom Uyi Onabulele. I'm a filmmaker and I major in cinematography.
And say I got it. Onabulele. Guys, I did well. Go ahead.
I make movies, I do documentaries, I do music videos, and I produce commercials.
Wow, that's a lot, because for people who are maybe new or they want to go into media or go into movies, this is like a gold mine. So let's ask you some questions. And some questions I'll be asking for my own personal selfish interest. But guys, I won't tell you which one it is. Because we're all here to learn. So, bruv, when did you start? How did you start? Was it that, okay, from the very beginning you studied it? I mean, what did you study? Did it go along? Is it part of what you studied, or along the way you just decided this is what I want to do? Did this call you? Did you call it? I mean, what is the whole story?
Okay. Filmmaking started for me in 2007. I was on IT then. I was studying business admin in school. I came back on IT, and that was it for me. That was it for me and school, because I saw filmmaking and I embraced it, and I just left every other thing I was studying and I focused on filmmaking. So I didn't go to school to study filmmaking. I learned on the job.
What did you study, by the way?
I studied business admin.
Can you imagine? Guys, empty statements. I see you, Jivere. Oh, bruv, that's how I brought someone here who is a storyteller and a producer, and she studied one engineering or something, one very powerful something. The same way. So this is my question. Yeah, laughing is true. This is my question. what was the reaction? Like, there was a time that you couldn't say, oh, I'm going to study filmmaking. I want to be an actress.
Yeah.
And then you now studied something that they will expect, okay, you will end up in the bank. And then now you're saying, lo and behold, I want to do filmmaking. So what was the reaction like?
Oh,
My brother,
yeah, well, the first time my parents didn't understand what I was doing because they were like, hope you're not going gaga. But I had to sit them down, I had to explain to them. I said, okay, all I've been doing in school was a waste. I don't know what I've been studying, but I've just been doing it so that I can pass, so that you guys say I went to school and all that. This is the first time I'm loving something. This is the first time I'm doing something that makes me happy. So that was how I sat them down and said, okay, Dad, this is what I want to do. Mom, this is what I want to do. So it's not easy. I know they called a meeting on my head, Cha, and all that. Yeah, they did one family meeting, Cha, last. They're like, okay, if this is what you want to do, go into it. And they gave me their support, and that was it for me. That support really pushed me far because I had good support from my parents and everybody around me.
But I like the family meeting part. They are realistic people. You can't go and be hungry. Let's take Maz's question because I know he's on a break and will probably have to go back to work. He said, how did people react to your first walk, particularly family?
I didn't get that. He said, how did people react to your first work, particularly family? Maybe your first production, that kind of thing. Yeah. I think my mom became my biggest fan after she saw me on TV. My mom loved it. My mom was like, this is the first time I'm seeing my son on TV. This is So it got to that level, and I just became a celebrity in my house first. They liked what I was doing. I think my mom was trying to say, oh, I think what you're even doing is informing people, is teaching people a lot. So, let's support you more. What do you want? That's how they got me my first camera and all that.
Oh, that's amazing. Solex says, I'm proud to see your work all over, bro.
Oh, thank you so much.
Okay, let's take one more from Mazi. He said, any setbacks that stood out, how did you overcome it, if any?
Well,
he's already asking the question on my behalf. Go ahead.
There were a lot of setbacks, a lot, like so many things. I encountered so many problems, but how will I say it? When you have a target, you just focus on your target and forget about every other thing. So I focused on where I was going to. I never looked back. It got to that point where I told myself, if I can leave business admin and focus on filmmaking, then I should go all out. So I went all out, and today I'm happy. I did that for myself.
I'm going to expand on that because why we ask these questions about the challenges is that sometimes you have people who are watching and they're probably going through a challenge or the other because they've chosen the kind of path you are. Even if they've not chosen your path, every path has a challenge. And so for some people, they don't understand that even the people we see out there have had real challenges. Can you say any of the things, like for a budding filmmaker, what were the exact challenges that you had and how did you overcome them? Like literally. For some people, it's the finance. There's nobody to finance.
Okay, I think one of the major challenges I had at the beginning was where to focus on. Where to focus on, because I was in between majoring in directing or cinematography, but at that point I had to decide what to do. So I got confused, and my boss then, Oliver Leogena, sat me down and said, what are you passionate about most? Like, what's that thing that you like most? I said, it's the camera. So he said, okay, I think you need to do cinematography. So you need to major in cinematography. So I think that was my biggest challenge at the beginning for me, what to major in. Because I was in between directing or being a cinematographer or producing, or, I noticed that I was trying to write. I was writing a lot at the beginning, but I discovered that I used to struggle with writing. So I now said writing was not my thing. So at the end of the day, it was camera that was for me. because then if I watch films, it was about the shots, the way the look of the film is and all that. So at the end of the day, even Clarence Peter said, I think you are more of a cinematographer, so why not push into that? So that was why I majored into cinematography. So, but it took me time to actually, decide what to do. It took me time. But at the end of the day, I think it took me like almost 7 months. And I decided, and now said, okay, I think cinematography is there for me. So what I did was I just gave all I had into cinematography. But it took me time to decide.
Okay. Now, Jiver says, I hope that's your name. It says, what advice would you give to those who intend to venture into filmmaking as a career?
Yeah, well, first of advice I'll give to you is, if you know you're not passionate about filmmaking, don't even try.
Hold on, boss. Let me send out my co-presenters, please. Guys,
Okay.
madam, please, thank you. I appreciate you. We love you. Bye-bye. Oh, bye. You're distracting me. They keep clicking some things, and I'm wondering, is it my ears? Go ahead, bro.
Okay. First of all, this advice I'll give to anybody that comes to talk to me about filmmaking. If you know you're passionate about filmmaking, don't even try to be a filmmaker, because you will get frustrated. The filmmaking is not as rosy as you think. What it takes to be a filmmaker is large, is big, is huge. So if you're not passionate about it, you will run away. You will go gaga. So first of all, passionate. If you're not passionate, you can't handle stress that will come with it. So I would advise anybody to be passionate first of all, and don't lie to yourself. Don't lie to yourself. Tell yourself the truth. Tell yourself, I'm a director, I'm a cinematographer, I'm an editor. Tell yourself the truth, because a lot of people just want to do everything.
Yeah.
But you need to know that one that you're good in and focus on that. You can still, do other things in between. Because filmmaking is large. Is this industry that accommodates everybody. You understand? So, but you need to decide, when you come into the industry, start as a production assistant or an assistant, so that from there you know what you want to do.
Okay.
And if you are young, I would advise you, if you want to go into filmmaking, you can study it as a degree. There are film schools in Nigeria that do filmmaking. So if you're just young and you have time, why not just study filmmaking? It's advisable. That's what I advise people to do.
Okay. Able director said, do you edit?
Well, I'm not an editor. I major as a cinematographer. Editing is just by the side.
Okay. Otizo, how you guys craft these names? Oh my God, I understand, guys. Because someone says, nice one, boss. Your works are the best. My best cinematographer. Okay, you have your people here. See? Okay. Where you're having haters, when they notice where you were doing well, I don't understand. Okay, were you having haters when they noticed you were doing well?
Yes. Yes, that one is for sure. Sometimes a lot of people just want to just hate and say, your job is not as good as this person's own. They just want to compare you and that person, but there are haters everywhere. And sometimes I like haters, man. They make me want to do more. They make me push. Yes. I like it, man. Talk about my job, man. That's what will make me do more. That's what will make me do more.
I like that thought pattern, because for me, I'm like, guy, lady, if nobody hates you, nobody's talking about you, you are dead.
Yes.
Honestly, they probably just haven't buried you. Maybe you're in the morgue somewhere, because you can't.
Yeah.
There's no two people are the same. You're not built for everybody. The people who are your tribe somehow just feel there's something amazing about you, and then some people look at you and like, what's her problem? Why are you always up and down? So it just makes life interesting. It's drama. Okay. Oh, Able Director says, have you ever been embarrassed on set before? So can you remember any embarrassing moments, work related or not? I have some.
Yes, severally.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I've been embarrassed severally on set. Sometimes it's just, how it just happens. And sometimes you just make some suggestion and somebody will just say, no, I feel that's not right. And the person doesn't even know what he's doing, but in front of everybody, the person will just embarrass you. And there's a way some people say things in front of people. They do not look as if, this person knows what he's doing. It's you that doesn't know what he's doing. The person can just embarrass you and you not feel, very bad. And at the end, they will not notice at the end, maybe when they're editing, that is your own that is actually right. But he has embarrassed you.
What can you do about it? Hi, Jimo Films, we see you. Now, back to my question. You've worked with so many people, you've worked with celebrities, it's a natural thing when it comes to the kind of work you do. Would you say anybody stands out? Like, did you have a dream of working with a particular person and it came true? How did you feel?
I think my own is quite different because I came into the industry as a novice. Like, I didn't know anybody, I didn't have any background, I didn't know anybody. So I came in and I started moving. But the first major project I did, Clarence Peters, was on that project. So, and I didn't even know who he was. That was the first time I was meeting him. I didn't even know who he was. But the first day I saw him, the way he spoke and talked about filmmaking and everything, I just said, I think this guy is going to be my mentor. Yes. Because there was so much talk about him, blah, blah, blah. He now came through. And when he came through, I just saw him. I was like, well, I think this guy is going to be my mentor. And that was it for me. From that day, I started following Clarence Peters. I started doing everything with him. I remember I was hired to work as a PA to the producer. But I ended up always being with Clarence Peters. I was driving him about, changing lenses for him. I was carrying camera, doing this. So at the end, they had to say, okay, you know what? We don't want you in this department again. Follow Clarence, So that was it for me. At that early stage, God helped me. So I saw that one of the biggest guys in the industry then. I saw him like very close to me. So I just grabbed him and I started working with him.
Okay, but
so that was
I'm going to ask you this. Was it like because I know, of course, it will be an advantage. But
yes,
for you, that kind of thing also still sometimes can breed, why is he following him about? So what was the flip side of it? Like the good side of it in terms of, how it worked out for you? Because service actually gives you, it's something that helps you psychologically and can also open doors for you. But mention that side and also the flip side of it. Was there any pushback? Like, okay, what is it because you're with him, or do you think you can do as well as this and all that? So advantage, disadvantage.
Okay, well, I think one of the first things I did was I was a novice, so there's some things I was not doing right. So what he did was, you can't be my first camera assistant. You have to work under somebody else. So that person will put me through some processes in the morning. Okay, do this, do that. So
Jimo, at the point, we see you. Hello, go ahead, bro.
So that was what he did, because he noticed that I was mixing up some things. So he now said, you know what, you need to start reading, you need to start doing this, you need to start doing that. So, but he now said, work under this person. So you can't be my first camera assistant. But you know how I was the fast learner. So what I did was, after a while, he noticed that I was really, smart. I was catching up very fast. So he said, okay, you know what, I think at this point we have to move this way. So I now started, he now started telling me things. Sometimes after shoots, he can just be down and say, okay, I feel you should do this, you should do that. So I had a lot of, talking to me about stuff, about making, and he'll tell me, I'll say, that thing you did on set, what was the meaning of what you did? So he'll say, okay, this is why I did that thing. I say, okay, I know you've not gotten to that stage, so you might not understand some things, but this is the reason why I did some of these things. So, it worked for me at the point, and, I just started getting used to it, but it was not easy because film language was quite difficult for me. And some things they would talk about, I'll be turning my head like, what are they talking about? Yeah, it got to that point where things became, because there's some things I see on TV, I don't know how they achieve them. So I was seeing how they achieve them. So I was really confused, and I didn't understand the process of editing at that point. Mm-hmm. So, but at some point, some things were really confusing, but thank God for the kind of people I had around then. Some of them were always putting me through, and that really helped.
Okay, but I asked, was there any pushback, or not necessarily from him, but from other people who think, okay, you're following him, is it because you want to do this or that? Was there any such thing? Because
Yeah,
usually there's always a good side to everything.
Yeah, there was a lot, because first of all, that was not my department. That was what they hired me to do. They had me to do something else. So I left my own work and I was,
Skill work.
yeah. So at the end, they were like, you're going to suffer. You do your work and you still do, But then, at the point, I was enjoying it because this is what I want to do. Allow me to do what I want to do. Because the other part, was more of administrative, producing, do this, get this. I was not learning anything proper from there. So, and that was when everybody noticed that this guy is into, I think he likes the camera more than every other thing we do here. That was where, yeah.
Adeyinka, I see you. Thanks for joining. Now, I like what you said where you mentioned, film vocabulary, because it's something that is very important and most people don't understand. Sometimes you can have practical experience. That's why even on my page, if you check it out, you see event vocabulary, like event terminology, because you can say something like you're speaking French, and then they feel like you don't know anything really because you don't have the right vocabulary. Now, someone has another question. Jerry says, a lot of people see the movie industry as a career for the rich. Do you think a poor kid from the slum can make it in the industry?
Yeah, everybody can make it in the industry. The industry is big, you understand? Anybody, I have colleagues today that were nobody 10 years ago. Because the industry is quite big. As a carpenter, you can be in the industry. As a shoemaker, you can be in the industry. As a tailor, you can be in the industry. So the industry is for everybody. So even though you are poor, you can come there and make it at the end. It's just consistency. Just come and start pushing. One day you get it. You will get there. Definitely.
Amen to that. Like it doesn't. The industry, as in most industries, don't even know where you're coming from. It's the push, because you can come in with millions of dollars and lose it all. That's the reality of business, especially in Africa and in Nigeria. So you have to have sense and be motivated. Mazdi says, what kind of movies do you enjoy making? Epic, sci-fi, drama?
Oh, okay. Well, I'm a drama person. I like drama. I like making drama. But I think very soon I will up it. I'll start doing something, adding maybe action to film. And maybe action and a little bit sci-fi. The film I shot last week, I did a short film last week called Copycat. There's a lot of effects in it. So these days we're trying to merge, effects into film. So you can see proper drama with a little bit of effect. And those kind of effects that you will not really notice. Yeah. But they're effects. And I want to start making that kind of film that will tell people that, there was an effect, like there is a lie, it's real. I want to start making those kind of film. So, yeah.
But what do you think the issue has been so far in terms of production in Nigeria when it comes to, doing effects and sci-fi? I know that sometimes we can have budget issues, but is it that we don't have the talents? Because we see like some short films online, and then you see someone do maybe a martial arts film just for like a playful thing, very short clip. But you see that this is mega. I saw one with guns and it was exploding, and I'm like, okay, why can't we have a whole movie so that we can put it on the likes of Netflix and they know, excuse me, this was made in Nigeria?
Yeah, I think budget is one of the major issues we have. Then another thing is some of filmmakers, we can't give what we don't have. Yeah, because some people want to be director, and in Hollywood you can be director of a film, but when it comes to effect scenes, you get special as a person that will come and direct those scenes for you, because it's not what you are good in. So sometimes what kills it is the directors don't want to allow that special effect person to do his work. You understand? So they'll try to just make sure they do it in a funny way. When they will not get on post-production, it will be difficult. So if you don't do it right on set, there's no way you get it right in post. So this is the major issue I have. Now, if you are making a film, it means you're getting a special effect person, specialist to come and handle those effect scenes for you. Not you trying to just do it in a funny way. Then when you get on post-production, you now start, trying to add bullets where there's no bullets, But when you have a specialist on set, that person will just tell you, okay, I think at this point the camera should be stable, you shouldn't move, you should do this, you should do that, let's put green clothes here, let's put that, let's put this. By the time you do all that, you will discover that it's like this. So that's another major issue, not getting the right people to help it.
Okay.
And
okay, I'm listening.
And another issue we have again, I have these issues with producers. You are doing an effect film, so a film that has effect. You don't expect that film to be ready in 3 weeks. You should spend more time in post-production. And a lot of producers, I have this problem with a lot of producers. They want to get it cheap. There's somebody out there that can do it very well, but you prefer to go and give 10 naira to somebody somewhere to just do it a shabby looking way, where you can have somebody that is a professional. Trust me, we have good filmmakers here that can achieve those same things you see on foreign movies. But sometimes you don't want to pay these people. And we lie to ourselves a lot. Budgets for those kind of movies are not small budgets. But now you want to use your small budgets to make that kind of film. It won't work.
Sure.
So I think we have a major problem with producers as well.
Okay. We'll still come back to synergy, but I see Fortizo has a question. She says, okay, thank you so much for the answers. Why do parents think the film industry is not good for ladies?
I think is what they see outside. And when I hear that a lot, they say the industry is this, the industry is that, the industry is this. But this is the truth. The industry is good for everybody. Because there's a lot of gist about directors trying to do this with ladies, but I don't know. Sometimes I tell ladies, if you are good, nobody will talk to you in that way. So most times when parents tell me, this is our industry, you guys drink a lot, you guys smoke a lot, and I'll tell them, what is your child coming to do in the industry? Is he coming to act? Is he coming to become a filmmaker? Is he going to become a director? Focus on that and forget about what you hear about the industry. It's not like that. Yes. So most times I correct them when I hear that. It's not always like that.
I think it's just like you said. When you turn, you have to sit with your parents too. I think you need to do that. And if you are a parent, find someone you can hand over to, and make sure that your child is mature enough. You won't go and just leave a teenager to just walk away or walk anyhow. You have to still be able to supervise. There are bad people everywhere. So it has nothing to do with particular industry. It's just that the glitz and glamour they see in the movie industry, and it's almost like too much. Or anything can happen in any industry. Oh, we have questions lined up. Mazi, what is exactly? Okay, he spelled it like egg. He said, our Niger directors want to have all the credit. Thank God you have this knowledge, and I believe you are different from others. Want to see your work on Netflix soon.
Oh, okay. I have projects that are part of that are on Netflix.
You see? Can you imagine? Bro,
yeah.
We have to talk. We have to talk about something. After this production. Moonlight, Joyce, Godwin. Okay. Jerry has another one. He said, okay, sir, besides the passion and persistence you earlier mentioned, would I require any kind of professional or educational qualification to thrive in the industry?
Yes, definitely. You, apart from your passion and everything, that's why I say if you can study film, study film. You understand? But the best way to learn film is practice film, being part of the process. So if you have opportunity to study. There's no knowledge that is wasted. And the internet is there for you. A lot of people, some of us are big fan of the internet right now. Yes. There's almost everything on YouTube. There's almost everything on YouTube. I know I have friends that learn filmmaking on YouTube, and today they are doing very well. Yeah, but I'll tell you, after studying on YouTube, make that film. Not just studying, because a lot of people are going with theory. They tell you blah 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 about filmmaking, but they can't do it. So, so most times I tell you this after reading, watching tutorials and all that. Practice that thing. So practice is the best form of filmmaking.
So be ready to practice.
Yes.
I think I saw another question from Mazi. He said, have you ever had a situation where actors on set kind of insist on doing things their own way? Maybe stunts or stuff. How did you handle it?
Well, I think I have an approach of handling this kind of issue. Sometimes actors, they don't understand how post-production work. So they just want to say the way it fits them or the way it works for them. So what I do most times, I'll tell you, is fine, let's do what you want, but when you are done, please, can I still do my own? So this is what I do. I allow you to do what you want to do. I allow you to do what you want to do. Then when you are done, I'll say, okay, let's just do my own, so that when we get to editing, we'll just pick one. So that's what I do most times. So I'll just tell you, okay, let's do your own. Fine, it's fine. Let's do your own. But can you just do my own? And at the end of the day, you will not notice that mine is better, way better than, what they wanted to do and all that. So most times I just tell them the truth. I'll say, see, this is the truth. Let's do your own. It's very simple. And I'll do my own at the end. But in post, I'll do my own.
You know why I was laughing? It's almost like a lecturer telling you, no problem. When you finish setting your exam questions, come and collect my own. You understand?
Yeah.
But now I've seen some of your work, and you mentioned something earlier. For you, is there the level of synergy? As in, which of the projects will you say you had the level of synergy that you really always wanted and you would like to have again?
Oh, I think the movie Up North. I saw a bunch of professionals. A lot of my colleagues, some of them I've not worked with. That was the first time I worked with this lady. What was her name? The director. What's her name? Why am I forgetting her name? I liked the fact that she brought in people that were filmmakers. Not just people in the industry, but filmmakers. And we connected. We were 4 DPs on that set. Do you know what it means to have 4 DPs on a movie set? I'm not sure any Nigerian, maybe some 1-2 Nigerian films have done that. So we had 4 DPs. Like art department, they were over 10 in makeup alone. You see 5 people. There was a point we even had 2 drone pilots on one job. I've never seen that in any movie anywhere in Nigeria. So we had there was a time, or there was a day on that set, our sound men, we had over 6 people in that department alone, which you don't see in a normal Nollywood film. It's either one person, an assistant, but we had 6 different sound men on a set. So I think Up North, to me, it's that job I have done that I saw the highest level of professionalism.
Okay, some people are saying, Osareme says, hi, Shalom, we're here.
Osareme, that's one of our guys on Yawa.
Oh, cool. Mazi says, apart from making films, do you act, or have you acted in any film? Which is part of what I always like to ask people who are behind the camera. Have you ever done it? If you've never done it, have you ever felt the urge to do it? Especially when you're watching them, or maybe they become superstars, and for years we don't know you guys because you're behind the scene, except maybe the actor or your set. And after, it's just now people are saying, okay, who's the filmmaker, who's the director? But before now, it used to be, just the actress or the actor. So have you ever been tempted? Have you done it? Have you ever been tempted to do it?
Oh well, I don't act. That is not what I major in, and I try as much as possible not to act.
My brother, let me just make one shout out. Bishop! I had to do that. I've not seen him in years. How is my family? Okay,
that's my
go
guy.
ahead. Hey, can you imagine? Life is so small. Go ahead, bro. I just had to do that to get started my system.
Bishop was on Up North as well. Bishop was on Up North as well.
We were neighbors when I was in Lagos.
He was one of the DPs there. Yes.
With his beautiful
Are you
wife.
serious?
Go ahead.
Yeah. So, okay, we're talking about
never acted. Yeah.
Acting. No, I don't act. Yeah. But once in a while, I had to act on, so maybe there was nobody to act it, but it takes forever for me to act. It takes forever for me to act. I don't know. You have to get to that level of, I don't know, as in tuning my mind. I don't know what, but you have to just say something about, I don't act. I don't know how to do it, but most times I just have to do it when there's nobody.
My sister Bodupe, thank you for joining.
Because I don't like the kind of course there is.
Do you know why I find that funny? Because years ago there was a movie I watched, and I think that's almost like the reality for a lot of people. And this guy was a fantastic director, just behind, could handle the camera, handle anything. I don't know what happened to the presenter. It was a show. And then they were like, you know what? Just hold this mat so that we use it as something in between. They gave the guy, and they focused the camera on the guy. The guy just held it like this and looked as if he was going to drop dead. And my question was, excuse me, you can be putting people and saying, go there, go.
Yeah, and you direct people.
Exactly. Now you're in front of the camera, you want to die. It's not fair. You can't do that. So, bro, I understand.
Yeah, I think even some of my colleagues are like that. They want to even see themselves on camera.
But I mentioned something, like, is there that temptation in terms of the fact that there's a glamour, there's the part of, a glamorous bit in becoming an actor where your brand keeps going bigger and bigger, and the way it grows bigger is faster than anything because you're on the screen. So no temptation.
No, I don't want. I want to be myself. I want to still walk around and people don't know I'm the one. I like that peace. I like that, I can go and eat amala somewhere. Nobody will know I'm Shalom Chiki. It's fine for me that way. I'm okay with it.
As long as you take me along to eat the amala.
Yeah.
Pacific Samuel, thank you for joining. Okay, another question. Jerry says, sir, besides cinematography, acting, directing, okay, you've heard this, he doesn't do the acting bit, he will freeze. Directing, what other department, exists on set? So at least if anybody wants to fit in, what else can they do? Okay,
there's directing, there's cinematography, there's makeup, there's costume, there's production design that has to do with props and all that, art direction and all that. So, and there's sound, there's music, that's core department and all that. So there's a lot. The industry is open for everybody. There's no department that you can't find in film. Even I know people that are just continuity people and they are doing well. They've been continuity for more than 15 years and they're doing well. So people are just assistant directors and they are doing well. There's production management, there's producing, there's film has everything, there's every department for you. And it's the fastest, I think, industry to grow. I can tell you that. It's the fastest industry to grow. If you know what you do, you can't do PA for 2 years. You can't be a production assistant for 2 years. If you know what you do, by the time you do production assistant for a year, or even 6 months, if you know what you're doing, you can progress to being an assistant for something. And from there, you move on. So, everybody can fit into filmmaking.
Now, I was going to ask you about the music part of the industry. I think it's different. There was a time that when you put on a movie, guy, that was part of why I didn't just like to watch. I knew like the entire movie. I knew what would happen. They'll just be telling you, somebody chased the mother has died. After that is why they are called dark horse. So I don't want dark horse will appear and kill the mother at the end of the day. Yeah. But I think that there's been a progression in terms of the music. So what has the collaboration been like? We'll take Will's question after that.
Okay. Will's, That's my boss. That's my boss. Wills is my
Bro,
boss.
I am kneeling down. Okay, in my mind, because I can't kneel down right now.
Yeah.
So you understand what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
So what has
So your question
collaboration
again
been like?
about
I'm talking about the change when it comes to the music in movies now. I've seen, something better. I've seen them doing it better. But what has the collaboration been like? In terms of the cinematography aspect, as filmmakers, and the music to make it better, to improve.
Okay, this is what we do these days. We tell producers, most times, let's do original score for your movie, like proper score. They will say, no, I have somebody that sings. I say, no, it's not just an artist. Let's look for somebody that can write music properly, So we don't start telling you, it's not that kind of one that they will say, Mama Chinyere is coming from this, So, you need to educate them. And when somebody tells you, I want to do a good film, you say, okay, if you are doing a good film, you need to do good sound for it, good score for it. This is what we tell people, like at pre-production stage, to say, no, there's this girl that knows how to sing. You understand? Like me, I don't joke with this person I use for my sound score. I have a producer that's very good with sound score, and I have an artist I use. Most of the films I have shot, I used to just tell people about her producers. Have you heard of Debbie Great? Go and look for her. She did this song for the sister person. She did that song, and the videos are on YouTube. They go look for it, and they say, yeah, I like the way she sings. Let's work with her. Let's work with her. And it's been working, and that's why sometimes you see original scores right now from some movies. You see, some movies are coming with original score, and it's different, and it's sounding different. And I think we've been talking to a lot of artists. You can start writing songs for movies. There are some artists that when I hear them sing, I say, you should write a song for this movie. So I think it will work. Okay, don't even wait for the money. If you can just do it, then we'll push it for you. And it's been working that way.
That's amazing. Let's take Leo's question. Yeah. What does Shalom think of the movie industry presently? And official Chinedu, thanks for joining.
Okay, well, right now the industry is good. We're moving, like we're hitting it. If you see the movies from last year, like Genevieve's movie, Lionheart, Living in Bondage, and I saw Merry Men some few days ago. It means we are moving. If you see movies like Up North, you know that we are moving, we are going somewhere. And we have moved it from the regular knowledge, Now a lot of people are enjoying our movies, and I'm also proud when people call me from the US to say, because some people just started doing color correction for their movies recently. You understand? But some of us know about these things way back. But this, and it took us time to actually convince people to know about some of these things, because they'll tell you, well, you're wasting my time. Why would I do color correction? Nah, sell this film, I beg. Somebody's waiting to buy this film. Those kind of things. But today, it's a different ball game. Now we are a lot of Nigerians now know about filmmaking. They'll tell you, what, I don't want to just do any kind of film. I want to do a good film that will get better. Now, Netflix is there for everybody. I want and I'll tell you, for your film to be on Netflix, to do this right, you have to do this, you have to do that. So things are changing, and Nollywood is moving. We're not on that spot again. We're moving faster than we used to be.
I believe you. Mazi says, I believe the Niger movie industry is waxing strong and I'm really glad. Still, I am bothered by the volume of half-baked productions shoved out with season one to Indaboski, or what does it say? What's your take on that? Maybe half-baked production, season one to Indaboski, maybe season one to Infinity. Maybe that's what it means. Now, what's your take on that?
Okay, I don't really get the question. Still, I am bothered by the volume of half-baked production. Okay.
Yes.
Oh, okay. I think the problem I have with some of these guys is that they still have a market. When you do a rubbish film, you have a market to sell it to. If you don't have that market to sell your movies to, you start making good film.
Yes.
I think if there was no market for them, then they won't be making any film. So I think it's because they still have a market to sell to. That's why they are still making some of those films.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Shorter,
But things are changing.
Definitely. I think the movie industry is getting better, far better than a decade ago, guy. And some movies that I watched, and just to look at, just like I was discussing with someone and saying some of the scary movies we used to watch. Who can remember I Am at Anger? I Am at Anger. All these really are some of these things that we thought. When I looked at it now, I was like, man, was I a fool? Well, I was just a child. It wasn't my fault, but the production was
Yeah. That's what you were still child. Like, it means that's why it was very good then.
Yeah.
But but trust me, it's just that Nigerians don't really do horror. But there are some things we've seen in some films. At least they've gotten it right, even though it's 1 or 2 scenes in the movie, they've gotten it right. But I think what we need to do is this: a lot of guys in the industry need to go for training, proper training, so that the volume of movies will be coming out, or the what we'll be producing will be different. It will not be better than what we used to have. So if you can have guys that can actually, go up, study. If you can't go abroad, use the internet, go to film school, upgrade, just do something. We will have better movies. Trust me.
Real Jasmine is giving you thumbs up. Shorter by scared. I think they.
Oh, Jasmine.
Yeah, I'm sure she's your person. Admin La Viva.
Yeah, it's my personal.
Your personal person. Mazi. Okay,
yes,
Mazi
Jasmine, she's my connect. Okay.
Okay, cool. Mazi says, please, filmmakers should work on their soundtracks for their movies and also their trailer presentation. The presentation of the trailer. I think we're getting better because we see some and we're like, wow. Jerry says, sir, in terms of financial management, we see a lot of Nigerian veteran actors struggling to pay their bills. Why is this the case?
Well, I think that is a serious issue, because even me right now, I started asking the question recently. I said, hope in the next 40 years, nobody will be carrying placards for me, because this is what I want to do and I don't want to do any other thing. But I think I noticed something in the industry. Some of these actors are not well paid. Because if independent producers are still struggling to produce films in Nigeria, we'll still have that problem. But I think to get to that point where we have sponsorship for movies, that's when they can pay an actor good amount of money for one film. Sometimes there are some prices I can't talk on screen, but this is what they pay some of these actors, and it's not good. So I think what we need support. Some of these movies need to pay very well. Like, producers need to pay actors very well, so that these actors can save money for the rainy day. But I think one of the major problems we still have is a lot of producers in Nollywood are just using their personal funds to sponsor movie, and when they sponsor this movie, you don't get as much as you're supposed to get. So that same person cannot pay you as much as you're supposed to get. So, but brands need to start taking up. We have Glow in Nigeria, we have MTN, we have Airtel. They need to take over Nollywood film. Tell me that, what, you guys take this amount of money, produce a film, do something good. Then people start getting paid properly. But sometimes, I pity some producers because they go through a lot to really produce a film. But sometimes some people still get that kind of money, but they still pay you peanuts. So I think some of these producers, they need to be talked to.
And I think that we need to get to a point where there are pension schemes for actors and insurance and things like that, because I think that's part of the problem. And when you're in anything, I'm listening. Yeah.
I think the new management, Asian management, I think they are working on that. I heard about it recently. they're working on that. And very soon there will be insurance for actors in Nigeria.
That would be an amazing thing, because this kind of job is a job that requires that you sell part of your life, part of your privacy. Just like you said, some of these actors can't just go and buy anything anywhere, walk into places, you know. And imagine, I did an interview, and I think, it was with Isaac Gerald, and he was talking about his time on stage, Project Fame, and the 1 year in between of not getting a job. I said, it takes someone who is resilient to still go out after that, because now people know you at the bus stop and then you're just walking down, you don't have a job. If you're not careful, you will sink with that. You sink into a depression, you sink into a time where you can't afford anything and you're dying in silence, you know, and we can't allow that happen. So I believe that I believe it's a good way forward, just as you have said, that they're doing, you know, there will be maybe like an insurance policy or a retirement policy of some sort. It has to get better. It has to.
Yeah.
It has to get better. Okay, so I'm going to ask you, because we can go on and keep talking for hours. I think you should know by now. So I'm going to ask you that final advice. It's just Hills. Thank you for joining. I'm going to ask you for that final advice. Oh, someone said, please, let me read what Maddie said. He said, Ola, please save this on your timeline. I've got to run. Break is over. Nice hearing from you, Shalom. You're the real MVP. The liquid metal. They won't kill this liquid metal. Guys, okay, so we're gonna ask for one final advice for anybody getting into the industry.
Because
okay, go ahead. One final advice for people joining the industry, Bob.
Okay, this is it for filmmakers. If you know you want to make film or you want to be in the industry, first of all, be passionate. You have to be passionate about filmmaking. I'll tell you, this is the truth. You have to be passionate. You have to be passionate, and you have to be ready to learn. There's no way you are in this industry and you're not passionate. If you're not passionate, you just run away. And some people tell you, hey, I'm just doing this while I wait time. When I hear you talk about it, I know you're not passionate about it. So filmmaking is what you give your all into, because it won't allow you to do any other thing. So you need to get to that point where you are passionate about filmmaking. So if you're not passionate, there's no need of going into filmmaking. So be passionate about it and be ready to learn, because you learn. Filmmaking is that place that makes you learn every day. It's that space. It gives you that opportunity to learn every day. So as a filmmaker, you must be open to learn. So be passionate, be open to learn, and know what you do. Work with the right team. Have a mentor. You can't make film without a mentor. You have to have somebody you look up to.
Wow, thank you so much for that. It's, as you said, you have to keep learning. Realistically, whatever field you're in, if you don't keep learning, you just find yourself obsolete, man. That's how people die off, like become a dying breed. So I want to say thank you so much for joining. It's been a fantastic one, and I'm so happy I did this. I was looking forward to it. And thank you guys for everyone who joined. I'm super excited that you're here. I do not take your time for granted. And in case you are not following me, go and follow me at Ola Heavens, so you can meet fantastic people like Shalom and the likes that have been coming on the show to share, their journey and their story, and we can learn from that. So guys, Jerry says thank you for the amazing advice, Shalom. Big ups. Thank you, Jerry, for joining us. Thank you so much. So that's it for today. Inspired by Others is on Tuesdays and Fridays by 6 p.m. So don't forget to tune in on Friday. So my brother, thank you very much for joining. Have a fantastic night. And you guys, too. Thank you so much. And you guys, you have to stay safe. They've eased the lockdown, but that doesn't mean that we should just be doing whatever we like. We still have to be careful. So guys, so much for joining.